but based upon rumor. While Hanoi Xan's earlier attempt to ally himself with the unfortunate Dr. Lizardo was thankfully only a near thing, the voice of reason itself demands that the uncanny must not remain behind the black veil of legend and mystery. Like anything in front of us, we wish to get a better sense of it through critical analysis, and, if we are speaking of a historical figure, through as much biographical information as possible, so that the outline of the individual may be drawn with both a softer lead and a finer point, and by this process come alive in our eyes. But Xan is different, to put it mildly, and few subjects arouse such heated controversy as the scabrous contagion known for making the life of Buckaroo Banzai a living hell and killing anyone who crosses his shadow. The same man who among the masses is thought to be imaginary, a fictional being, and yet in parallel is known by another name as a trusted inmate of Queen Victoria and a banker to, among others, many of the principal royal houses of Europe, including the Hohenzollern and the last 3 Tsars. The same man who is mentioned also in French colonial reports from the 1940s as being in possession of no fewer than 20 princely domains in Xianjing province alone, as well as having a long string of criminal enterprises and a regular corps of bullies gathered from the pests of society in his employ. How to reconcile such competing claims? I regret this question cannot be answered authoritatively. The simple fact is that no satisfactory explanation exists for the phenomenon that is Hanoi Xan Anthropos. In part, this is due to his network of desinformatia and the finest public relations money can buy, but bribery alone cannot account for why the true nature of the creature is shielded from discovery by the public, and therefore the calumny he rightly deserves. Indeed, it flashes on the brain that perhaps there are things about the monster that our human minds cannot apprehend, an understanding not entrusted to us, that when we endeavor to speak of him, we lack even a fundamental idea of what we are talking about, or even a way to render him visible. What else can be said of a man who claims to have been born a snake, hatched from the egg of a black swan, and whom no less a figure than Macaulay has called a malefactor with no equal in the long record of human iniquity, a creature scarce seen in the light, the perpetual enemy of peace and virtue, a bold, bad man who engaged every lust, whose hands are alternately polluted with gold and with blood. Such words, while not inaccurate, evoke the archetype more than the man, a mysterious figure of epic scale and larger than life. As against such hyperbole, perhaps it is more helpful to characterize Xan rather in terms of what he is not, as the wise Maimonides taught with respect to the Creator, not anthropomorphic, not mortal, not corporeal, not bound by physical laws. Of course, I am not saying that Xan is not material, only that even in the flesh he inspires disbelief. Consider the fantastical travelogue, The Khan of Kathmandu, a manuscript recently discovered in the British Museum, believed by experts of the Banzai Institute to be in Xan's own hand, and dating from the 15th century, ascribed to Sir Edmund Shah, goldsmith and engraver to the Royal Mint, moneylender to the king, and member of the Privy Council. The fanciful tale recounts the author's travels in the Himalayan kingdoms and his impressions of a mysterious Mongol prince with supernatural powers whom he encounters along the way. At times, the author's language reminds us of a conflicted lover. My leg